All right, so today I'm going to be showing you guys my Victor Wembanyama build in the NBA 2K25 builder. Now, a couple of things to start off before we get into the builder. I do want to clarify that this was made at Community Day, and there was also kind of a bit of a limitation when it comes to what we could do in the builder because we didn't know animations requirements for anything while we were making these builds. So take that with a little bit of a grain of salt as you guys are looking at these builds. But I think this build, this Wemby build, isn't really affected by those animation requirements too much. This build is going to be absolutely insane, so let's get started. Now, one last quick thing before we get started, I'm actually going to be showing two versions of this build today. One version that you see on the screen, which is a 7'1" build, and I'm also going to show you guys a 7'3" maxed wingspan Victor Wembanyama build. And I think in this year's game, from what I've seen on paper so far, the 7'3" Wemby build might be a possibility to be really good on NBA 2K25. Now, we're going to start things off here with the driving dunk, which is going to be a 75. Now, in last year's game, that would unlock the athletic one-handers off one dunk package, which is really good. At the time of me recording this, I do not know if that is an unlockable animation at this rating on NBA 2K25, but either way, I think a 75 rating is a pretty safe rating to go with for driving dunk, especially on a tall center like this. Now, for the standing dunk on this build, we're going to be going with a 90, which is going to get you rised up on gold and is still the threshold on NBA 2K25 for the elite big man standing contact dunks. That I can confirm when recording this video. The elite big man standing contact dunks will be at a 90 rating. Now, a bit of a disclaimer when it comes to this build. I didn't really put a whole lot of layup into this build because I really wanted to focus on the rim protecting side of things, and we'll talk about that later on and you'll understand why I did that. I also didn't put a whole lot of close shot into this build either, simply because I don't think mashing is going to be good in this year's game. It hasn't been for the past couple of years since post-patch of 2K23, and from the gameplay that I've seen by myself and from other creators, paint mashing does not look great in this year's game. But hey, who knows? Maybe a 7'3" with 90 plus close shot is really good, and we just haven't seen that just yet. But with that being said, I think we're just going to go with the 75 close shot just to err on the side of caution right now with that. Now, when it comes to the post control rating, we're actually going to go with a 79 to unlock post fade phenom on gold. And then with the 80 mid-range shot, we're also going that high to get post fade phenom on gold. Those are the two requirements for that badge on the gold level. Now, since we have that mid-range rating, we're also going to get Deadeye on bronze as well as set shot specialist on silver. And now quickly, we're going to talk about the three-pointer, which is going to be a 74 on this build. You don't really unlock anything on this build with the 74 three-point rating, but I just wanted to point out that that is going to be the rating. Now, moving on to the pass accuracy, it's actually going to be a 75 for silver break starter. Once again, same rating. Now, the ball handle is a 60 on this build, and I just want to point out once again really quickly, I have no idea what any animation requirements are at the time of me recording this video, and I did not know at Community Day, so I don't know what we get with that 60 ball handle, but let's just say there are some Wemby animations that we want to get that we might have to go with a different wingspan. That is just totally possible, but just based off of what I was able to do at Community Day, I think the 60 ball handle is going to be fine. We also have a 51 speed with ball just to kind of get it on the build. Now, the interior defense is going to be an 84 on this build, which is the minimum that you need to go to get paint patroller on Hall of Fame. But that's not the only requirement. You also need to have a very high block. Now, for the perimeter defense, we're going to be going with a 62 to get a movable enforcer on bronze as well as off-ball pest on silver. We're going to go with a 60 steal to get bronze interceptor. All right, so here's the big thing here. We're going to get a 97 block on this build, which is going to get you 3 badges. You're going to get paint patroller on Hall of Fame, pogo stick on Hall of Fame, and high flying denier all on Hall of Fame on a 7'1" center that, if by the way, if you guys can see, gets 72 speed and an 83 vertical. And the best thing here is that high flying denier and paint patroller on this build are 2 separate badge tiers, which means that if you equip the max +1 badge perk to this, which you can get during the seasons, you can max +1 high flying denier and paint patroller to legend on this build at the same time. All right, so last thing here, the rebounding, we're going with a 92 to get gold rebound chaser. We also get silver box out beast on this build. Now, please understand that this build is supposed to be replicating Victor Wembanyama. I understand if you want to make a good center build, you need to have higher strength on your build to get higher levels of box out beast, but on a build that is intended to be made specifically for an NBA player, it doesn't really have a whole lot of strength. We're gonna go with the mid-70 strength just to get silver box out beast. All right, and now with that full rundown complete, this is is the 7'1" Victor Wembanyama build that I made at Community Day. And for a very first build, not gonna lie, I don't think it's that bad at all. And now that this build is complete, we're going to come out of the My Player Builder and get the shades of Victor Wembanyama, Marcus Camby, and Kristaps Porzingis. And we're going to get on over here to this screen and get the build name two-way inside the arc threat. Now, here is the 7'3" Victor Wembanyama build. Now, two big things that I didn't get to mention earlier on in this video that I do want to point out very quickly. As you guys can see, this build has an 8-foot wingspan. If you guys remember on NBA 2K24, the max wingspan on a 7'3" was 8'1". But that is not the case on NBA 2K25. The max wingspans for every My Player height is actually 1 inch shorter than it was in the previous year. But as you can see, we still get a 60 steal on this 7'3" with the max wingspan. And we're going to kind of just quickly run through a couple things on this build because there are a lot of things that are very similar. Driving dunk, extending dunk are going to be the same. 77 post control in this one just to get the silver post scoring badges, the post up pull-in and whatnot. Actually did go with a little bit of a higher close shot. This gets you paint prodigy on silver with the 84 close shot rating. Since we're 7'3", might as well have a little bit of close shot to try and mash. 78 mid-range shot, which gets you the standstill shooter badge on silver. 73 three-pointer just to max it out. 75 pass accuracy just like last time. 40 ball handle, 40 speed with ball, which last year's game would get you normal dribble style and normal dribble animations, but we're just going to put it to that just to put a little bit on the build just so we can spend those attribute points and kind of make this build a little bit more well-rounded. Interior defense and block are going to be the same. Perimeter defense is a 63. You really could just go 62 because that gets you bronze immovable enforcer, and the rebounding is going to be the same as well. And as you can see, the 7'3" center actually gets a 60 speed in this year's game. Unlike previous years of the game, 2K23, it would get a 59 speed, and on 2K24, it got hit really hard, and a minimum weight 7'3" on 2K24 can only get a 55 speed. So this is actually on paper the fastest 7'3s have been in 2 years now, because it can get a 60 speed, and again on 23 you can only get a 59. So on paper, this is the fastest a 7'3 has been in a very long time. And as you can see, we only get silver high flying denier on this build simply because we can't upgrade our vertical high enough to get it on gold. But again, since it's a lower tier, you can still max +1 the block to legend while also doing high flying denier to crank it up to gold. And although we didn't end up getting any badges from it, we ended up maxing out our agility at a 48. Now I am eventually going to probably max out agility on all of my center builds. It's not going to be like something with acceleration where you can't upgrade. Agility is going to be something that helps you out on defense too. It helps you with your off-ball lateral movement. It's going to be able to allow you to shift your feet. It helps you accelerate off the ball as well on offense and on the defensive end. So it's very important to have agility. It's very important to have it maxed all the way out. So that's what we're going to do. And as you can see, we're coming out of the My Player Builder. We're going to get some really cool player shades of Ralph Sampson, Victor Wembanyama, and Joel Embiid. And we're going to get the build name two-way inside the arc threat. So I mean, hey, not too surprising. I made the build pretty much the exact same way on both, but that is going to be it for this Victor Wembanyama build video. This is again this is 2K25 community day footage. I do want to point out that we were playing on a unreleased version of the game, so there might be a couple changes that happen when NBA 2K25 does eventually come out. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you guys go watch this video, which was my play now gameplay breakdown, where you will see Wemby.